staying out of foul.
I'm just thinking about the series if they end up going against the Lakers, which I think is a foregone conclusion because I think that Minnesota has shown itself to be entirely too damn immature, but they do have Anthony Edwards and Carl Anthony.
On that note, because we have Rajon, I want to ask you, what was your take on that whole incident with Rudy Gobert? How often does something like that happen?
You don't see it often, especially teammates on the sidelines or the same bench. It's unfortunate. He obviously cost his team. It's going to haunt him for probably the rest of his career. You just got to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys both said you have Phoenix as your favorite.
Yes.
I know you said it could be
Without
6
question.
teams. Who would you say is your favorite at the West right now?
Either the Lakers or the Clippers.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
The Clippers?
Yeah, the Clippers.
The Clippers? With no PG?
I think they can get it done. Russ has a lot to prove. I'm looking at Russ to step up big. Is PG out the whole entire series?
No,
Okay.
no, we don't know. We don't know if he's out the entire first round series, but we suspect that he'll be back after that.
I think that can be arguably a Western Conference final matchup. I'm looking forward to it.
How come you're not saying Phoenix? I'm just curious because
I just don't the depth. You do have say KD goes for 30, Book goes for 30, Paul goes for 20. I mean, that's not enough points as a team to win in the West.
Let me respond to that.
Please respond.
This is KD we talking about here. This is Kevin Durant, okay?
Okay.
With Devin Booker.
Okay.
I mean, you know how lethal these boys are. I'm not saying
you got T. Lue on the opposite side.
Who's great. He's one of the fantastic, without question. I think he's one of the best in the game, no doubt about it.
Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, let's hope he's healthy game to game. Let's go back to back so we have to worry about it. But Paul George has to play a majority of this series for the Clippers to have a chance. And without Paul George, I'm not giving the Clippers any chance. I'll say them nationally. I ain't giving them any chance without Paul George. They need them both. Because KD and Booker, yes, I understand depth is a question mark. But you know something? They'll make up for that against the Clippers without Paul George.
I can't agree with that, obviously.
Without Paul George?
Yeah,
you
without
feel
Paul
that
George.
way?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be well prepared. They're a great defensive team when they need to be, which I think in the playoffs they will be.
Okay. All right.
You want to comment on it?
I just hate when I agree with Stephen A., so I just don't want to comment.
Okay.
We'll take that. It's beautiful.
Not concerned about the depth.
No, I know we're going to touch on that series more in the second hour.
You're such a pro.
I'll say my
I appreciate those hosting skills. Old man in the 3.
Yeah.
You got it done. That's a tease for the future. We'll go to the East now, guys. The Bucks have home court advantage throughout the playoffs and have the shortest odds to win the Eastern Conference at plus 125. The reigning conference champion Boston Celtics are second at plus 155, and the Sixers, who haven't reached the conference finals since 2001, are third at plus 450. So, S.A., would it be a bigger letdown if the Bucks or Celtics don't reach the finals and capitalize on the window they have right now?
For me, it's the Milwaukee Bucks. They would be the bigger disappointment. Obviously, the Boston Celtics are the reigning defending Eastern Conference champions. Okay, and we get that. And I think the pickup of Malcolm Brogdon has been big time. I think you have questions at the coaching spot. You brought up Ty Lue with the Clippers. I'm going to bring up Mazzulla with the Boston Celtics. Okay. Whether he's been good as a regular season. Ime Udoka got them to the finals, okay? So he's got a lot to live up to. Let's see what happens with that. I don't know. What the hell was up with Jaylen Brown, who I love? I mean, what was he, out gardening or something? How the hell did he mess up his hand? I don't know what I mean. Before the playoffs in Boston, how you hurt your hand with plants? And that's what they said.
Wait, do you say vase or vase?
Vase. I don't know.
Vase.
Vase?
Is it a vase or a vase?
I say vase.
I've said vase.
What do you say?
I just want to see how fancy you were.
What do you
I say
say?
vase.
Vase.
Okay, we'll go with vase and vase. How about that? Whichever one works. At the end of the day, my Lord, how the hell you hurt your hand before the playoffs with something like that? But that's neither here nor there. I believe in Jaylen Brown. Somehow he'll be ready. I'm just looking at all the noise that people have been chirping about when they talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis, in some people's eyes, obviously warrants being MVP. We can't dismiss that. We know how great he is. Brook Lopez having an outstanding season. Porter's having an outstanding season. Drew Holiday has been off the chain. And you're hoping that Middleton is going to be there. I'm like, if all those pieces are there, you pick up Crowder, you've got veteran experience, you've got athleticism, you got perimeter shooting, you got exceptional coaching in Budenholzer, you got defense, you got trees on the front line, and you lose, whether it's the Boston, Philly, because I think that's what it'll come down to, those three, I mean, come on. I'm not trying to hear that from Milwaukee. Now, I expect Boston to go to the finals, to be honest with you. That's my favorite to come out of the East.
Even with Joe, you just said it. Even with Joe.
That's right. But with all the chirping they've been doing about Milwaukee, yeah, that's the disappointment. That's what I'm going with.
I got to disagree. I got to disagree.
What's up, Rondo?
It's called Tattletown, Beantown.
Okay.
They expect to win.
Okay.
It's been a very long time since they've hosted that trophy.
Mm-hmm.
So going back, to the finals last year, getting it done, that's not going to work. We don't hang Eastern Conference banners in Boston.
That was a bar.
Yeah.
That was a bar.
And I liked his listening skills, how he held it, how he held your point. He held your point against you.
That was a
and Joe
very
was
valid
going
point. I mean, I'm here thinking about basketball now, but I'm like, he is right about that. It is Beantown. They do expect banners. I got it. Go ahead, JJ.
Well, look, I don't think you could make the argument that both teams would be disappointed. That's obvious. I think any team that has championship aspirations, there's going to be a level of disappointment. Rondo's right here in talking about the history of the Boston Celtics and the rabid fan base that they have in New England. Like, I get all that. But the reality is both these teams, they're the two best teams in the NBA. Mm-hmm. If they end up making the Eastern Conference Finals and playing each other, one of those teams is going to be disappointed.
Okay.
Like, that's the reality.
Yeah, sure.
And look, the thing with Boston for me, I think we talk a lot about the Bucks being the favorites. The thing with Boston for me, they were consistently great. They had a little stretch in March where they didn't play great. Other than that, they were the best team consistency-wise for most of the season. The only team in the top two in offense, the only team in the top two in defense, in both.
Right.
That's happened twice in 25 years. It was the 15 Warriors and the 17 Warriors. Both those teams won. So, you watch them play, they look like a championship team. On paper, they look like a championship team. So I kind of agree with Rondo on this, but to me, like, both teams are going to be disappointed.
Can I throw something out that Kendrick Perkins obviously played for Boston, your former team, and as well said yesterday, he's worried about Miami. Obviously, we know Miami has to get past Atlanta, thinking that Miami could give Boston trouble. To that, you say what?
No, they'll make it a series, but I don't think it'll give them trouble.
Are they playing? Boston and Miami are playing each other?
Huh? Say what?
Boston and Miami?
Well,
If Miami beats Atlanta tonight, they're the 7th seed. They play Boston.
I didn't realize they played that game yet.
Right.
I think since the trade,
look
their
at
defense.
you. Look at you. You're ridiculous. So you're taking Atlanta?
No, I'm just saying,
Oh,
like,
God, one step at a time.
it's a one game series.
at a time.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't know what's going to happen in the
I
NBA.
agree with you, but you didn't say that when we would talk bypassing Minnesota to talk about the Lakers Memphis. You didn't say that then.
No, I said the loss of Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid is more important than the loss of Rudy Gobert for that game.
I'm not debating.
They're not winning that game.
That top.
Anthony Edwards
What I'm
had
saying
65
is
for them to win.
didn't say let's not bypass Minnesota. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You didn't say that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That's checking. Go ahead, Molly. I mean,
right.
Go ahead and flex. I mean, you're trying to flex with the
I'm
sleeve
not
shirt show
trying
the
to
world.
flex.
You in shape. Go ahead and flex
I'm
with the show.
just still
All right,
stuck
go
on
ahead.
JJ's comment. I just needed to give it a moment.
All right.
Which
In a
comment?
moment. The last comment. Yeah. The game hasn't been played yet. I was just letting that marinate for the audience.
So who do you have? The Miami, Atlanta?
I think Miami will probably win.
So do I.
But you know this. There's a difference between a series and a game.
I agree.
I agree, but see, last year, the boy Trae Young sent me home in retirement last year by one game. So, I mean, I can't go against Trae. I love Jimmy to death, but, he's so dynamic. He puts a lot of pressure on defense.
Since we're on this subject, let me say this real quick. Trae Young is a star. I know he killed my Knicks a couple of years ago. He loves the big stage, the big moment. No doubt about it. I have complete faith that he'll show up. He'll make some noise, even though Miami knew how to handcuff him when they went up against him. What I will say is this, though. It has been somewhat of a disappointing season in Atlanta. You've been basically 500 balls since Quinn Snyder arrived. Nate McMillan gets fired. You're looking at the volume of shots on the part of Trae Young and the shooting percentage. I expected better from him this year. And he'll have a better future, of course. But I don't think this has been a great season for him.
All right. We're staying in the East sort of here. I want to get into the MVP conversation. So interesting comments from Giannis recently